In mining and aggregate operations, the conveyor system is the backbone of the entire site. It's what keeps tons of rock, gravel, and ore moving every single day. If the conveyor stops, production stops, and downtime can cost thousands of dollars an hour. Keeping the conveyor running smoothly comes down to a lot of moving parts, but one of the most important is something most people never even notice: the conveyor belt idler. The idlers support the load, keeps the belt in shape, and makes sure it tracks straight. Idlers work in some of the harshest conditions you can imagine, day in, day out, carrying material while dealing with dust, water, vibration, and extreme temperatures. If one seizes up or breaks, it can chew through a belt in no time, and with belts costing tens of thousands of dollars, that's a problem you don't want. In this video, we're going to show you the entire process of how these idlers are made from start to finish, here in Calgary, Alberta, with Luff Industries. In this series, we teach you how critical heavy equipment parts come to life, through the hands and stories of the people who build them. This is Tekamo Blueprints. How they make conveyor belt idlers. Before we head over to the factory, let's quickly break down the components of a basic idler. The idlers are made up of several key components: the roller shell, the shaft, the end caps, and the frame, plus the bearings, seals, and other parts that keep it all turning. In this video, we're going to focus on how these four main structural parts are made. The roller shell. This is the outer steel tube the belt rides on, built to be perfectly round, balanced, and tough enough to take constant impact. The shaft. This is a solid rod running through the roller, made to carry heavy loads without sagging or bending. The end caps. These are what lock in the bearings and protect it by sealing out dirt and moisture. The idler frame. This is the heavy-duty structure that holds the roller in place under the belt. Now, with the basic anatomy out of the way, let's head over to the factory and meet some of the skilled people who build these idlers. And it all starts here, in the raw materials, where they get weekly shipments of raw metal. Each shipment is sorted for the upcoming job orders. It will then get processed here. The operator will load the tubes or rods, and the saw machine will automatically begin cutting to the appropriate size. Once the tubes are cut, they will be sent to this machine, where they will make sure that any of the sharp edges are deburred. For jobs of smaller quantities, they are able to do manual cuts with this machine. In another part of the factory, they have the big saw, capable of cutting tube diameters up to 80 inches. With the tubes cut, they will now be sent down the production line to paint. Well, the cut rods will end up here in this part of the factory to be notched and further machined. Like with the raw materials, they have an automatic notch machine, and they also have the ability to do it manually for certain job orders. At each step of the process, the technician will quality check to ensure that the part is machined perfectly. Now with the rods done, they will be stored until it's used in assembly. Now to the idler brackets. These are for the idler brackets. They start like this. They have a CNC machine down there where they cut these out, comes here, and gets molded and stamped into that. With the idler brackets formed, they can now be welded together to build the frames. They use the robot welder to get the majority of the pieces put together, and then it gets finished manually. The finished brackets are then quality checked and will be sent to paint. The tubes, after being cut, and the brackets, after being welded, come here to be cleaned and painted. Once on this conveyor, the clean parts will travel down the line, get dipped in paint, and then head to the top where infrared light will cure the paint, allowing it to be handled within minutes. Depending on the job, they're capable of painting hundreds of pieces a day. With all the pieces painted, let's head over to where they make the plastic components. We're now at Plant 2 with Luff Industries. This is where all the injection moldings are made. Now let's go inside and check out the process. This is the facility where they make all the plastic components for the idlers, like the end caps, the covers, and the labyrinth seals. These are all made on site here and then shipped over to the factory one to get it all put together. We're now over at the plastic mold machines. They got the 3 machines that run. These manufacture all the pieces for the end caps. Now we're gonna get the guy who runs this, and he's gonna show us the step-by-step process on how this works.
My name's Abe, been with Luff Industries for a little over 5 years now. So I run these machines, I program them, troubleshoot them, make sure all the parts are within tolerance. So injection molding is typically a mass production process. So the material is melted at 415 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll feed up enough material to fill the mold. So the mold then has cooling chambers which will cool down the part. Once the part is solidified, the mold will open, eject the part, and then continue its cycle onto the next one. I can produce about 1,500 parts a day, 24 hours, 5, sometimes 7 days a week. So this is our most common part that we mold over here. It's our 5-inch SEMA B and C polymer end cap. This is the raw material that we start with, and then it gets pressed into the mold and it molds itself into this. This bag here is 900 kilograms. It'll mold close to 4,000 parts. So typically annually I use about 4 containers. Each container holds about 26,000 kgs. So annually I use just a little over 100,000 kgs just in this one material. In combination of between everything, I would have to say we use about 300,000 kilograms of material per year.
The entire plastic molding process is very efficient as they recycle as much cutoffs as possible. In this machine, we see a robot arm that will separate the cutoffs and place them into a hopper, where will be ground up and recycled to be reused again and again, reducing the amount of waste being produced. Before the introduction of the robot arm, they used to spend a lot of time on manual labor, removing and picking each cutoff piece to be recycled. To put it in perspective, this machine is capable of producing upwards of 3,000 parts in a 24-hour period. What could take 1 to 2 people to do a standard 8-hour shift could all be done seamlessly with this robot. So after injection molding, it comes over here where it gets assembled with the bearings and seals installed. It's then ultrasonically welded, quality checked, put in the bin, and sent off to Plant 1 for assembly into the idlers. Well, let's go talk to the person who does all the work.
My name's Sheena and I've been with Luff for 12 years and I work in the plastics department building plastic end caps. I'm doing 1,600 for this cage right now. The whole job is 3,200, so it's 2 cages of 1,600. And with the 5-inch, I can do anywhere from 12 to 1,600 a day. According on average, I assemble 500,000 a year. We grab the empty end cap, which Abe you've noticed on his machines he's made. And then we start with our bearings. So your bearing goes in first, and then you add your OL. So you add 2 shots of grease, and then you add your OL, and then we have a felt. Then what happens, it goes on the machine here. This is the ultrasonic welder. It just seals the end cap. And the way we test it, then we just make sure it doesn't crack open. And then it's ready to go. That's basically all I do, all day.
All the injection molding processes have led to this. This is the completed end cap, built and assembled under this roof. We're now going to ship this back to Plant 1 to be installed into the idlers. Now that we're back at Plant 1, we got the tubes, the rods, the end caps. Everything's going to be assembled before it goes off for shipping. Like the rest of the facility, they are capable of doing things automatically for large quantity orders or manually for specific jobs. Here we got the completed idler. This one was assembled on the automatic machine. It'll be quality checked and then sent off for shipping. Another step they can do is add a surface coating to the idler or roller. They have a variety of different materials and styles to fit the needs of the client. Now that everything is assembled and quality checked, they'll come to shipping behind me, will be packaged and assembled and sent around the world. Thanks for watching. This has been Tekamo Blueprints. We got to see an idler from beginning stages all the way to working on the conveyors. Thanks to Luff Industries for having us out. If you're a company that wants to feature a product, reach out, media@TekamoHD.com. Any questions, put them below, and we'll see you guys next time.